BlackRock, the world's largest asset management firm, has submitted a filing to the SEC to include Bitcoin in its global allocation fund. This move underscores a significant pivot of BlackRock towards the integration of Bitcoin. We're going to break that down, as well as why Larry Fink and BlackRock might be moving with such speed and urgency. Does BlackRock know something? We think they do. Just how massively bullish is this for Bitcoin? You're probably not ready for the numbers. Stay until the end. We have a shocking revelation that not only was Edward Snowden right, but things at the surveillance state have gotten much worse. The world needs Bitcoin more than ever, and the Bitcoin gold rush is upon us. We got a lot to cover. Let's get it. Let's dive right into it, and no doubt Larry Fink is moving quick. BlackRock plans to purchase spot Bitcoin ETFs for the Global Allocation Fund. What does this all mean? So according to the filing, BlackRock aims to invest in Bitcoin ETFs that directly hold Bitcoin. The document specifies the fund may acquire shares in ETF products, ETPs, that seek to reflect generally the performance of the price of Bitcoin by directly holding the Bitcoin ETFs, including shares of a Bitcoin ETP sponsored by an affiliate of BlackRock. Furthermore, it clarifies that any Bitcoin ETP investments will be limited to those listed and traded on recognized national securities exchanges. But what we can see, BlackRock is doubling down on Bitcoin. This is massively bullish. Now, the SEC decision on BlackRock's request remains pending. The commission under Gensler still needs to approve them both. Despite that, BlackRock's initiatives to integrate Bitcoin into its funds is just completely massive. It's going to pave the way for other asset managers, but what I see at play is the game theory that's going to come about from BlackRock going in and the dominoes that fall and the rest of the institutions and investment funds that are going to have to allocate to Bitcoin in order to stay relevant. And that is why Michael Saylor is calling this moment until 2034 the great Bitcoin gold rush. Let's check it out.
If we're talking about the future of Bitcoin, I think that we're in the Bitcoin gold rush era. And it started in January of 2024, and it will run till about November of 2034. In November of 2034, 99% of all the Bitcoin will have been mined, and the last 1% comes out over the next 100 years. For all practical purposes, stock to flow becomes irrelevant. The stock to flow ratio of Bitcoin is infinity in 2034. And so you have about 42 quarters, somewhere between 40 and 42 quarters. And if you look at that 40 quarter period, at the beginning of the gold rush, no bank could custody Bitcoin, no institutional investor could buy Bitcoin, no Wall Street trading firm, no investment company could handle Bitcoin, and it was unclear whether that ever would happen. That was a binary. When those spot ETFs were approved, no politician's opinion, no banker opinion, no regulator opinion matters after that date. That was the most consequential thing that kicked off the gold rush.
But why are Larry Fink and BlackRock making such major plays in Bitcoin and doing so in rather quick fashion? I hope you watched our episode yesterday. Be sure to check that out. We went into this more in depth, but the big reason right here, they have to. Breaking banks. The financial world is on edge. And again, in Jay Powell's testimony, stated that he expects there to be bank failures, and the BTFP is ending on Monday. Again, be sure to check out yesterday's episode after this, as the banking crisis is only accelerating. We went down NYCB yesterday, a little bit of Morgan Stanley, but here we have SoftBank down 28.3 in after hours trading. People are losing faith in institutions and their national currencies and fleeing to quality, as Larry Fink talked about. And that's crazy to think about as well. Larry Fink going out saying Bitcoin is hope and Bitcoin is the flight to quality. But this is where we are in the story.
We are hearing from clients around the world about the need for crypto. I mean, when you think about, I think some of this rally is way beyond the rumor. I think the rally today is about a flight to quality, with all the issues around the Israeli war now, global terrorism. And I think there's more people running into a flight to quality, whether that is in treasuries, gold or crypto, depending on how you think about it. And I believe crypto will play that type of role as a flight to quality.
Not to mention, we pair that with the macro scenario. We know what's going on. And those who have been in Bitcoin, Austrian economics, understand the business cycle, the debt cycle, and these things can see why the Fed and big banks orchestrate these type of events, and they always win. And Finance a Lot here breaks down some eerie comparisons to 2019 and 2020 with Fed behavior, and if history rhymes or repeats, and you know where they want to go with all these things, you know what their end game is, why would you not protect yourself? I mean, isn't this interesting? We have banks threatening the Fed. I think this guy breaks it down in a really good way. If you go back to the 1919 to 1929 and the aftermath and the similarities there, but also those of us who don't tune into the lamestream media and go and research and learn and grow our minds, you probably understand all this. But if you know the connections and you know where they want to head with things, as Jeff Booth said in yesterday's episode, why would you even take part in that system and work to strengthen that system? What Larry Fink and Blackrock and Michael Saylor and MicroStrategy, El Salvador, Nayib Bukele, they knew an idea whose time has come. You better hop on board that thing, because at the end of the day, we can ignore reality, but we can't ignore the consequences of ignoring reality. Shout out to Ayn Rand. We are living through an epic Gulch, Atlas Shrugged type moment, and I'm so happy to be here and live through it with all of you guys. This is epic. But now let's get back to it. This is what we really want to know, right? How bullish could this be for Bitcoin? So if BlackRock is going to buy Bitcoin with their own funds, they have 10 trillion in assets under management, and I'm not even going to go into this part. Numbers are too big, but 20 trillion of funds use their Aladdin platform to make portfolio allocations. This is absolutely massive. The world's biggest fund manager telling investors to get off zero and ape into Bitcoin. And they're going to do it themselves. They're about to show them all the power of Bitcoin. I think Larry Fink's been diving into the Orange Pill podcast, been digesting all that Max Kaiser and all that Michael Saylor. The global hyperinflation wave is coming to every country on Earth. Bitcoin is your only possible savior. Get on the lifeboat. Before we get to these bullish numbers and the big reveal, let's take a minute to recognize our sponsors, the Bitcoin Way. Simply Bitcoin originals are powered by the Bitcoin Way. They are your IT team in the Bitcoin world, and they help take you from the why Bitcoin that you get from us every day to the how Bitcoin. That is usually the most difficult part for people, and the Bitcoin Way is here to help you bridge that gap. From just getting started with your first wallet node to inheritance planning and all aspects of cybersecurity and privacy, from configuring routers and devices and improving your just overall digital hygiene. Also, there's growing interest in UTXO management and coin joins, and that interests you. You want to begin your journey towards becoming a sovereign individual, a sovereign Bitcoiner. You can schedule a free 30-minute call with the Bitcoin Way using that link below. All right, now let's get back to the bullishness and the big reveal. All right, so I guess the State of the Union was last night, and I think that's what everything is really about. BlackRock, MicroStrategy, everyone, they tune into that thing. They saw a bunch of geriatrics that have been lifelong failures, failing upward, destroying the middle class, and enriching themselves, and they were like, screw that, I'm gonna go the other way. Ditch the Crypt Keeper and the geriatrics and buy Bitcoin. Now let's try to attempt to do some math. Okay, so you remember that BlackRock meeting? It was kind of a secret thing. All the fancy people got to go to it. But at this kind of high-profile meeting, they suggested a 28% allocation to Bitcoin. That's pretty cool. So let's go ahead and check this out. BlackRock, 10 trillion. They do a 28% allocation. That's 2.8 trillion. Bitcoin currently at 1 trillion. That would send the market cap to 4 trillion. And we're not even going to add the multiplier stuff. You want to dive into that? Make sure to check out Simply Bitcoin IRL with Fred Krueger, where he breaks that down with Nico. And also yesterday's episode, we broke some of that down as well. But with no multiplier, that's going to send Bitcoin to 200 to 300K just by itself. Plus, you got to think about the absolute FOMO, the drainage of exchanges. Yeah, I think that's a pretty modest number, but BlackRock has put out even more bullish reports before. Like that time BlackRock determined the most optimal Bitcoin allocation is 84.9%. I rounded up to 85 decimals, numbers. Anyway, that's 8.5 trillion, which would take the total market cap to 9.5 trillion. No multiplier, nothing like that, but we're looking like 700, 800K. That's just BlackRock. Massive Massive numbers. But I think I found who snuck through the back door and who's been running the numbers for Larry Fink and Blackrock. And if it's the case, they're about to start winning in a very major way, as MicroStrategy and Saylor continue to absolutely crush it. Absolutely massive bullish news, but now let's get to the big reveal. We had some news come through. The surveillance state is doubling down, which makes sense. As Bitcoin does what it does and the state becomes irrelevant, they're going to try to do more things out of desperation to try to seem like they have authority, or that they're relevant, or that they matter in any way, shape, or form, when we know that the era of fiat politics and all that bullshit is coming to an end. Shoutouts to Snowden, who let us know all this long ago. The Panopticon that was created. Here we have Michelle Weekly retweeted this. Another day, another list. This is your own government has been surveilling and building profiles of Americans in a secret portal called DSAC. Now you can go ahead and take a look at the type of people they put in there and have begun labeling them as, well, go ahead and take a look. You tell me. And this is in the land of the free and the home of the brave. So if this is going on here, we can know without a doubt the world needs Bitcoin more than ever, and that is how we end and fight all of this. Man, thanks for tuning in, guys. Hope you like this one. Be sure to like, subscribe, share that sound money gospel, give us a bump. Hey, join the Telegram, submit those memes, see if you can get on the daily meme review on Simply Bitcoin Live, the #1 Bitcoin only live news show in the game. Tune in, a lot of fun giveaways. The chat is completely deranged. Make sure you join in Monday through Friday, 12:15 Eastern Standard Time. And also, don't forget to follow our Substack and our Twitter, where we're getting all the latest breaking news. Comment below, comment on Twitter, let us know what you think. Set those notifications, keep tuning in, keep following, and we will be your guide through the separation of money and state. I'll catch you all next week. Hope you have a great weekend. Peace.
If you prefer to go down with the ship, fuck you.